Hey guys, welcome back in. Gonna continue going through some of these bases, deleting some and all that good stuff. I think I do have a couple of saves here that don't have too many hours, but I think I'm just gonna load into those quickly, just to make sure there's like nothing built or anything. I think they're leftovers from expeditions, but I'm not totally sure. Sometimes I'll have a couple that are just ready to start building stuff on. Or they'll have like extra things like one of them had those extra terminals that you could for multi tools and stuff like that. So I think I kept a save for that. Okay, so yeah, this doesn't look like it has anything. All right, so we can jump out of this one. Actually, let me do a quick save. That way I can kind of keep my list kind of uncluttered. Is there anything in here? Oh yeah. So that's why I kept a couple of these. There was a thing you could do with one of the old ships where you could take out a special hyperdrive. Yeah, this thing here. Alright, so that's probably why I kept that saved. Might be why I kept the other one too. Alright, let's jump out. I wanted to just take a quick peek at these. I think there's two of them. These small saves. Alright. Yeah, this one has the extra terminals. Yeah, I don't think I built anything with these yet, so I was keeping them around just in case either I needed them or if somebody needed, the parts for their own base, I'd be able to share them. All right, um, where the heck am I? And actually, did this have the same thing? There's no cores there. Okay, yeah, like I didn't get those cores in this one. Yeah, there was a certain ship that you could strip of that hyperdrive for, or that pulse drive. Quick peek in here. Yeah, there's nothing here. A class pistol somewhere. All right, so there's nothing to see on this one either. Just run out, do a quick save. Oh, look at that beautiful hauler. Flying a brick in space. All right. Yeah, I didn't think there was going to be anything in those. I just didn't want to skip over them, just in case there was. All right, so expedition start save. So we're going to jump into this creative. There may be a couple bases on this one. I don't typically build much in creative mode unless, every now and then, like a different content creator would have, a little build off type thing where you build for a couple hours, and I would use creative save for that. Let's see. Oh, okay. One of my. I'm not going to do anything with this one, but this is like a little R&D base where I just kind of come to figure out things. I just got a bunch of different stuff set up. Stuff like this, which I actually learned from Action Pants Gaming. He did one of these on a live stream once, so I wanted to kind of recreate it. It's a pretty cool little setup. I want to try to build something like this again, actually, at some point. Yeah, it just doesn't look like I experimented with too much here. So it's gonna be over here. Different things that I was trying out. Kind of brainstorming builds. It's actually where I kind of figured out how to do the overhead doors. Another save, so they stagger opening. This is things that, when we get new base parts, I like to see how they kind of merge together, and when you put them in a circle. So, just trying out different little designs. Different things that you can do with light blocks, stuff like that. Yeah, a lot of times when there's something new in Quicksilver, I'll come over here and kind of mess around with stuff. That way I'm not trying to do it in the middle of the build that I already have going on. I just come over here and try out a few different things. Making arches, stuff like that. So it's me trying to figure out a different way to do steps, I think. Yeah, where you can offset stuff by a full thickness. It's just kind of nice because it's an area I can come and just, mess around with stuff. It's actually something that I do recommend to anybody that, a little bit serious about building. Just find an airless planet somewhere and just start building, stuff. Just to, kind of figure things out for yourself. This was me trying to figure out a different way to do steps with the glitching separators. You can do it this way. I have no idea how I did it now, but it'll give me a way to do this. Because before you could make them with just the pill lights and be able to get the steps, but this way it's exact. Just different things that you can do to figure out stuff. Alright. So this base is nothing's happening with this one. Actually, this is that, this would be the foundation for an eight-sided building. The old style where, this was built before Frontiers, where you had to do everything off a cable. And, the stuff wouldn't overlap automatically. You had to build the floor normal, then you had to build another floor at 90 degrees. And those ones at 90 degrees had to all be glitched in on a wire. Just trying different things out. Alright, there's a teleporter here somewhere. And of course there's like 12 save points all over the place, and everywhere. Alright, let's see if there's anything. I think there might be one or two bases on this. Like some of these, I don't know why, but they're showing up in my list and they shouldn't be. Beebles Pollen House is a good base. Oh yeah, we got the pool house too. Alright, I'm gonna end up keeping this base, I think. It's a really small base, but it's a cool one. I like it. Yeah, Beeblebum did on one of his anniversary streams, he did a challenge type thing where he had a planet and people could go to it and build for, I think it was like 3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours to build a base, and I tossed this up. actually still quite a few bases here. Yeah, it was like, yeah, 4 years ago. Back in 2024. Yeah, still a lot of bases here. It's always good to see. Yeah, you only had 3 hours to build a complete base. Oh, this is what I came up with. Oh, and this is the Raza, isn't it? Oh no, that's a radiant pillar. Yeah, this is just a creative save. You know, just some kind of simple landing pads with I use these for the foundation. As you walk in here, you have all these clustered together. You know, the floor is made out of those taro, and the upside down little things there, the fungus. And so this was actually kind of like a prototype to that organic build I made a few months later, like 6 months later or something like that. Well, this one I used these things, what do they call them? The igneous drop and the compound bulb. You know, just arched them right around. You know, then spun a bunch of these. I think there's 64 in here. It looks big, so they just give you a really cool design up top. Well, they used to. Now it's just kind of fades in and out. It used to give you like a pretty cool little animation. Yeah, there's nothing. Oh, actually, there are some lamps in here. These lamps here, just flipped upside down in a circle. That's what gives you kind of like that smoky effect. Yeah, I like this build. This was something fun, and the whole thing came together in like it was like 2.5 hours. Beeble was actually a little bit early getting to mine, so I knew what I wanted to build. I had to find a spot for it. I didn't want to have to run around and find electricity or anything like that, because a lot of times I do like to use the electric generators to get some type of lighting effect, but I was really happy with this. It came out, especially like that little mist you get around it. Those light fixtures really helped a lot with that. Actually, it's the main reason for it. So, all right, so that's the pollen house, and I don't have a thing here, so I'm just gonna run up to the anomaly and get over to. I'm pretty sure there's only one more base, so. I wanted to try to get some of these saves that either had you know, a couple bases on them or no bases at all. Get those out of the way. That way I can just add them to the top of the list and kind of keep track. I think I have like 5 saves I need to check. I think either 5 or 6. I knew there wouldn't be many on this one. I think my survival save probably has the most, but I haven't logged into it in so long that I'm not actually sure. Alright, what the heck is this? I think there was an issue with that base. None of those. Oh, the pool house. This was part of our community challenge at 1.2, and I don't remember what it was. I have no idea. Planet looks pretty good still. Yeah, that's where I started experimenting with some of these like extruded pieces and these weird curved roofs and stuff. Alright. And actually, if you notice back at my R&D base, I had a thing set up to try to figure out how to do this. You know, the outside, the outer structure, having it, you know, rotated 45 degrees. We got big old pool. A pool without water in it, though. I don't know why I didn't sink this down or something. Oh, because you can't really get water in there. It's kind of stunk. Alright. A couple little diving boards. Oh, and one of these. Just some you know, pool chairs. One way to do it. A lot of times I'll use plants to kind of fill up negative space like this, so just layered a bunch of junk in here, try to fill it up. And I tend to do it on both sides too. I try to keep things somewhat symmetrical. Yeah, like this side is probably, yeah, this side's different. This is like a little jacuzzi. Alright, so that's kind of the pool area. You go for the ladders. Have a big bar area. I like to try to do different things with the bars too. I don't like to repeat the same stuff constantly, so I do like to try to make them a little bit unique. So we got our few different table arrangements. I'm pretty sure all the tables are going to be different too. Or they'll be different, but they'll be symmetrical. You know, like this one has, what, 8? A lot. I think that might be, what do we have? Have 8 different tables, 8 different colors in that one. This one doesn't have any of the other ones, but it has a centerpiece for the astronaut. And just a regular old basic one. You know, I try to keep things, even though it's the same thing, I try to make everything a little bit different. And getting these inside of there was kind of a pain to figure out the first time. Once you get the first one in, they're all easy, but trying to figure it out the first time's a challenge. There's a thing up here. Yeah, I wanted to try to fill up as much of the base as possible because you do get storms on this planet. So I don't like it when you get a storm and start to get storm damage. And try, you know, little things like finding a way to put a lantern in there and having it not look bad. It looks kind of cool at night too, because you get the effect of the lantern. But that's one. Alright, I think I'm gonna keep this. I think I did a video for this too, so most of these I've done videos for. Yeah, too bad I can't actually get water in here though. It kinda stinks. Oh, there we go. Got our sunset. Yeah, it does have a really nice sunset here. One thing I do remember about it. The water looks so good now too. Yeah, I always look forward to, right at sunrise and sunset a lot of times. You get some really nice coloring. Yeah, I didn't do anything in the water. Yeah, so I was happy with how that came out. Alright, I think do I have a teleporter here? A lot of times I don't put in teleporters, so I don't see them. I'm just gonna do a quick save here and jump over to the next save. Alright. Yeah, at least that base didn't flood or anything. Things were up high enough, so... Oh, I didn't realize I had a save point there. Alright, let's jump over to the next save. Okay. Yeah, at least that moved those saves to the top of the list. Now we can just continue on. Everything below here, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there's 4 saves, so hopefully rip through those real quick, or somewhat quick. Expedition started, I don't have to worry about, so I'm going to go right to Frontiers. Actually, I think, let's get this survival one out of the way, because I think this one will probably have the most bases to get rid of, possibly. I don't really play on survival all that much. I mean, I've been logged into this in like a year and a half, so it goes to show you how much I really deal with this save. Alright. At least we're already in the anomaly, so that will speed up things a little bit. Yeah, like a lot of my saves say custom on them. That's mainly because they're probably a normal mode save. I don't have... Okay. Had a little hitch there. I thought maybe multiplayer got turned on. Yeah, a lot of them, they say custom because they were probably a normal at some point, but I flipped on the free building stuff. Alright, so it looks like a lot of these... Alright, Homestead is showing. Surveys are... Alright, so there are a few different bases here. Looks like a lot of them are farms. Alright, let's go to Homestead first. Yeah, unfortunately there aren't like many screenshots, because for some reason screenshots never seem to work, so... And when they do show up, it's for something else. This was like my little home base. On survival mode, survival was pretty much permadeath without the permadeath consequence. So if you did die, you would lose your entire inventory, but you wouldn't lose the save. But everything was the same. It was like a typical stack size, I think 500 on regular permadeath. I thought I had another permadeath save on this account, actually. Thought I had like a regular permadeath. Yeah, this is Smash Hub. Of course, there's a storm going on This is the same planet that Atlantis build is on. So, have a landing pad, kind of a basic build. This was before I started glitch building or anything, so this is pretty much all vanilla building. So, got a few different biodomes. And down here, I'll show what my resources were. So we have paraffinium, sodium, oxygen, and nitrogen. Extra plants. Alright, and one of these takes me upstairs, the other one takes me downstairs. Typically I mark them with like a decal. This one will send me upstairs. This was just a room with my refiners, some carbon, a bunch of stuff to loot. Yeah, I didn't know how to glitch build back then, so I would take a barrel, and I knew how to do like the this regular wire glitch, where you take a barrel, get your wire, and you do a glitch. So what I would do is I'd just take one of these and just kind of layer them kind of on top of each other. That's why this looks so messy. At the time though, I thought it was really cool. And just kind of the same thing with these, just kind of merge them all together. You can do this type of stuff without glitch building, it just takes a little bit of patience. Alright. That was that. And this other one will take me down to my storage containers, which, I don't know if you notice, the outside here, like an upside down pyramid. You know, that you can go into your biodomes also. So, going down here. It's kind of tricky because you're actually down lower. You have to fly up to get to your containers. You get your biodomes. Yeah, I knew a little bit of glitch in here. You can see how these are kind of overlapped a little bit. That was back when you had to use a, you can't do it anymore, but you could use a wall and do a regular adjacency glitch, a wall to a large floor. That's how I kind of build this out. There's actually like a couple floors here I don't really need, but I like the pattern, so I kept them. And extra bio, you know, the money plants. Alright. If I remember right, I kept this base because there is a traveler. Should be another teleporter up here if I remember right. Oh, maybe I took it out. I'm pretty sure there's a traveler either in here or there's a building next door. Okay, you know, traveler's still here. Traveler, and there should be a minor settlement. Yep, right over there. Yeah, at one point I did have a short-range teleporter going over to that. Is that a? I thought it was an abandoned building for a second. Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna hold on to this base. So let's go back to the anomaly. Yeah, there used to be quite a few bases there too. It was Dimash Smash's kind of home planet. So a lot of times whenever I would start a new save, I would build a little base over here because everybody had different resources you could get. But it was only on survival mode. Back then, the bases weren't shared like that. So every time I started a new survival or permadeath, I would make my way to that system. Alright. Alright. Got a little gold base. Yeah, I think some of these bases might just be a typical little resource base. I figured I'd just stick my head in just to see, because I haven't been there in ages, so I don't know if there's anything worth really showing or not. A lot of times I don't really tend to do a lot of like glitch building on like permadeath and survival. Alright. So it looks like I deleted whatever this base was. Alright, it's one that Moose Gaming found. Oh, okay, I kept this because it has the freighter I wanted. I must have gotten rid of the gold base, though. What's my freighter on this? Alright. Oh, it's a max size. Alright. Yeah, I never got the S-Class freighter here. So that's why I kept this base. So, alright, nothing to see here. I have to come back there at some point and get the S-Class version. Unless I can find it somewhere else. Alright, next base. Yeah, I think this save probably has the most bases on it that were in the list, so we could get this one out of the way first. Or third, whatever. Alright. Anti-spirit copper. Oh, yeah. There's not that much here. Yeah. Just a little material base. So, yeah, magnetized ferrite, copper, a couple refiners, and a trade terminal. Quick and easy. Actually, I'm still gonna use the anomaly teleporter. Yeah, because a lot of times with my just material bases, it's just a prefab, a couple silos. I don't go nuts with them typically, unless I want to incorporate, something fancy into the build. But a lot of times I don't. Mainly, I don't want to waste the pieces. Yeah, this is another save where I pretty much hit the build limit at one point. So I did have to go back and trim down a bunch of stuff. Silver ammonia. Yeah, let's go to that one. I'm pretty sure there are a couple that are more decorative. I think the AI farm might be more decorative. I think this is just another kind of basic base. Yeah, kind of what this looks like. Alright, I don't remember this base at all. Oh, we have a crashed ship, that's right. See if I can get to it before the guy takes off with the ship. Yep, and a crashed fighter. I think it's only like a C class. Yep. Yeah, nothing special. Pretty decent A class shield though. Yeah, a lot of times if I see a crashed ship right next to a deposit, I like to try to throw down a little base. But that's all that is. Yeah, little tiny base for the bonus ship. I put it in a building so nobody would steal it, but it disappears anyway. So we got silver, ammonia. Yep, very basic. Yeah, and I try to whenever I set up a little material base like that, I like to try to get more than one resource if I can. You know, there are sometimes that I don't bother because it's something kind of useless, but you know, even stuff like nitrogen, stuff like that, it can be useful if you don't really use it for actually using it for nitrogen. You can always refine it down into ferrite dust and stuff like that. So I do try to, but at the same time, I don't want, you know, 3 bases with nitrogen, you know. So I try to make sure I don't overlap too much. Alright, we got our gold base. Yeah, I think most of these bases are just going to be material bases. But I have to load into them because I'm not sure if it's actually something decorative or not. Yeah. Oh, I actually remember making this one. Yeah, my gold deposit's really far away. Alright, yeah. Minimal decorations, and then my silo's up here. It's only 10,000 gold, but on, you know, our stack sizes is only, actually I don't even have a full inventory, do I? Oh, no, I do over here. Yeah, stack size is only 500, so that would take up, you know, 20 slots in your inventory, so you don't want to go too far over. Oh, my gold is actually close. Why did I think maybe it's my power if I was far? I remember it being a pain to build here. I don't remember why. Yeah, there's our gold right there. Maybe it was a pain actually finding a gold hotspot. Probably more like it. Alright, so nothing really to see here. Yeah, at least these are little tiny bases that I can bounce through real quick. Yep, yeah, I did delete a lot of bases off this save. I just kind of kept the ones, you know, like the material bases. Check out the next one. Okay, cliffside. I'm pretty sure this is a. See if it has like a name to it, not just a mineral. Um, it's typically like a somewhat decorative base. I think this might be activated indium, if I remember right. Taking quite a while to get there. Alright. Yep. Activated indium. Pretty sure. Run past that. Alright, so we got our storage back here. Go up and over here. Yeah, I stuck all my silos down here. Nothing too fancy. Just a bunch of silos. I'm not sure how many I have in there. It's probably only like 20, but it looks like more. Yeah, not even that. Yeah, there are quite a few. Alright. Back upstairs. We have our silo to collect stuff. 24,000. Which in this mode is actually quite a bit. A couple refiners. And we walk our way out here. I put these up here like this, that way I could just harvest them all at once. Without actually going outside to harvest them. There's double stacked, it looks like. When I first started using that little trick of double stacking your biodomes. Extra plants. This is a peek outside real quick. Just a combination of some different plants. Not too many biodomes. I always go with a lot of frostwork though, because I do use a lot of glass. Actually, I could missing a couple here. Same thing over here. Oh, I must have had to rip out these rooms at one point and it took a couple plants. But yeah, very stormy planet. I remember that. Our base computer's way over here. Actually, no, base computer's right here. That must be our electric. And actually, let me just jump back in photo and build camera. Make it easier to walk around. Alright, so we got our little living quarters. We're gonna have a bathroom and a shower. I think this was like my first bathroom that I made too. Like that actually looked like a bathroom. It wasn't just something super basic. Alright, simple little decorations. Yeah, these are those terminals I was talking about having on one of my other saves. The special terminals that are like this. Nothing too special here. That battery actually works too. Sometimes I do like to incorporate these into builds sometimes, just especially if it's something that's functional. Plus it gets rid of that red arrow, that red power symbol. So that was it for that base. Kind of a small one, but a little more decorative. Alright, and make our way back. Might be starting to get into some of the more decorative ones. Which I think there's probably not very many left though. You know, as far as like mineral bases, I think that's pretty much most of them. Who knows? So I'll get to the second page and there'll be like a bunch more material bases. Alright, let's go check out indium, I guess. I think this is just regular indium. Actually, I'm gonna skip over the indium. I know it's just gonna be a supply base. Same thing with that. Alright, this is a ranch. This is a supply base, but I'm pretty sure there's still a structure there. Yeah, this is one of those planets that used to be a desert at one point, and they changed it into a megaflora planet, I'm pretty sure. Of course, the planet changed like a month after I built the base, but I think I had to strip out some stuff because the megaflora like destroyed some of it. Yeah, now it's a volcanic planet, it looks like. Yeah, it used to be just a desert, so yeah, it's just a very basic structure. This is where I learned how to, you know, do that little spot glitch a little bit more, where you just take anything really, you know, draw this battery. You know, being able to glitch stuff on the side like that. So that's how I did these little silo setups. I think my power supply, yeah, power supply's right here. A lot of the, pretty sure a lot of the power is actually inside of this, but I just put some of these out here like that. And landing pads are way up there. That's what that teleporter's for. Alright, so here's our little collection site. Our cadmium, pyrite, sulfurine, a couple refiners tucked in the corners. Then our actual living area. You know, this is like a little like workshop area. And a little kitchen, and I have no idea why that creates there, but probably just so it would stop bumping into the teleporter. Little living room, little bedroom. We have another teleporter here. Oh, this takes me to that middle room. And actually, at one point I had an avatar with, when the camera tried on this side. Yeah, it doesn't want to cooperate now. Yeah, I'm gonna keep getting that. Yeah, it was a picture of me, just kind of looking out the window. Yeah, at least I got a decent view. I got a volcano there now. But before it was a bunch of those, those big red bulbs. If I take this teleporter, this should take me, hopefully, all the way up to my landing pad. Yeah, this planet's changed a number of times. Quite often, it seems like every couple years I end up with a different planet. I had no idea this had changed. Unless it changed in the world's update or something. Alright, so that's that base. I'm gonna hold on to it. Yeah, because again, this is survival, so I actually kind of need these resource bases. They don't have unlimited building or anything like that. I have to actually pay to build stuff. I think there's still a few more bases on here. Oh, got Wall of Flame on that planet now. Just another hazard. Alright, let's see what we've got. Alright, and yeah, some of these I just name because I plan on building that at some point in the future. The descriptions are probably all wrong now. These are probably all just have to get deleted. Pyrite. Skip over that. Alright. Alright, Vortex Garden, that's actually a base. Now, hopefully this one still looks somewhat okay. If I remember right, I'm pretty sure this just has all the different plants. Should be all the different plants. I think there may be like a balcony area. We'll get loaded in and see what it looks like. I think it was built at a ruin site, so I have no idea if the ruin is still there, or you kind of gamble with some of these. Because sometimes the building will move a little bit. Alright, so we do have something here. Alright, here we have some cobalt. Hopefully I can get through here. Through here. Alright. There's our landing pad. Yep, got a bunch of different plants. If I remember right, I should have a walkway on this side too. Yep, there we go. Yeah, I think like the little landing with little freebies to grab. Go up another level. Then you have all your biodomes. Doubled up on all of them. All those. Different refiners. Another cobalt thing. Okay, cobalt and oxygen for ionized cobalt. Yeah, and you can tell by the floors, this is where I was using that old glitching technique. Alright, and one of these, alright, that one's, see, this is how I tend to mark my teleporters. I know this is going to send me down, this one's going to send me up. This up one should bring me into my storage containers. Oh, yeah, that got ruined too. Dang it. Yeah, I used to have the trade terminal used to be on that block. Little storage container cluster. Nothing really to see in there. And this one sends me back downstairs. Oh, it takes me right to the deck, actually. Yeah, got our Corvex bartender. Yeah, I really liked this planet when I found it because it was like perfect weather. Yeah, blissful sentinels were fine. Yeah, that's why I named it Ideally. I believe that's idyllic in Latin. And so if I didn't want to take the teleporter, I could always come down here and just walk over to it. I put in a teleporter just to keep things somewhat symmetrical again. Alright. Yeah, we'll hold on to this base. Too bad the water did change. It used to be blue. I'm pretty sure it was blue. Yeah, it's a fun little lush planet. Alright, head back. So you're still limited on the amount of pieces you can build in survival and permadeath that you typically don't see very large bases. Just because of the amount of materials it costs, you don't really want to build too big. Get back over. I still have a couple pages. Based computers. Alright, so portal bases. I have a chlorine base. Let's see what that is. Yeah, this is a chlorine base. Is probably just going to be a bunch of refiners. Some salt and oxygen. Yeah, at the time I was doing that with a lot of bases. Like I would always get the oxygen there, but I stopped kind of doing that. Typically, I have one big mixing base. Oh, alright. I forgot about this base. Completely forgot about this base. But yeah, it's a bunch of refiners. We got our salt over here, our oxygen over here. It's a nice, you know, again, the game ruined my trade terminal. I'm just going to keep it like that for now, though. I'm not going to bother fixing anything. I'll come back and fix this stuff later on. But yeah, we got a half a circle. Not sure that's working. Yeah, our light panels aren't working. They are right here, though. Unless there's something else under the floor. I don't think there is. Alright. Yeah, so you just rip out a bunch of chlorine. Actually, let me just jump into my camera here. It's upstairs. A bunch of different plants and stuff to loot. And I'd like to start messing around a little bit with the carbon planters, putting them in strange spots. Right. And got more supplies over here. I attempted to make some steps out of these pallets. That actually worked out pretty good. A little bit of glitching in this build. Not a ton, but it's one of my earlier glitch builds. Kind of a basic layout out here. I was able to figure out a way to kind of sink these into the ground a little bit. I thought that was kind of cool, something different. And if I remember right, there's an archive. Yeah, there's an archive over there. Yeah, you can see actually my power supply right there. I think they're... Can I do something down here? I did something in one of these buildings, like a little Easter egg. No, it doesn't look like it. Maybe that's just where I tied in my power. Oh, there's this little building. Oh, for my base computer. Alright. Yeah, I got into a habit of putting my base computer inside buildings just so I had an excuse to build like a little tiny building somewhere. Alright. Alright, so get back in here before I freeze to death. I think this was my first automatic door, too. I remember it taking me freaking forever to figure it out. Get our little pallet steps. I'm pretty sure this takes me over to that archive. It does. It's got me in a different spot though. So that's misfired. I wonder if it just misfired or the whole building probably shifted. Right. Back on this. Yeah, I have a feeling the whole building probably moved. Let's try that again. Yep, whole building moved. Alright, so that thing's kind of useless. I don't think I built anything over there. But, yeah. I completely forgot about this base. Alright, let's head back. Yeah, it's another one I might as well hold on to it because I might need money on that account or that save. Alright. See what's up next. I know there's one in here called Stargazer. I think it's coming up. Okay, yeah, that's Stargazer. I don't think there's a stasis device. I think I just kept these. I'm gonna have to warp in to see what those look like. Alright, switch mystery. I think I deleted this. I thought I deleted this. This was a winter event. It was like my first winter event I did. I ended up doing a base on normal mode and on survival. There weren't very many on survival. There were like maybe 5 or 6 bases. There's one that Zane's World put on back in like, I think it was back in 22. Oh, base is still here. I must have stripped a bunch of stuff out of this though. I remember this being a pretty heavy bit. We are overgrown too. Alright. We'll see what this planet looks like now. Yeah, this was supposed to be like a hotel type of thing. I don't think there were actually hotel rooms. I think it's more like a big, like a clubhouse or bar or something like that. So, a couple landing pads with some decorations. This is how we used to do fireplaces way back in the day. We would use these little curly coils. Typically you would sink them down so you would only see the top, not the base of them. Couple, try to be somewhat festive. Let's go kind of the festive colors. All these floors had a light floor inside of them, so that's why you see those little lights. Kind of light decorations in here. Let me get rid of a couple of these trees that are grown. That way I can actually walk around in here a little bit. Over here. No, must be outside. Alright. See if I can find that other tree. Yeah, this stuff just overgrown pretty bad. Can't even find that tree. There it is. And that way you can actually walk around. There is the big candy cane thing. Oh no, this was just a big tree, but I put all these little candy canes going around it with little gifts. Just a big huge tree in the middle. Of course it's all overgrown now. Yeah, that ruins so much stuff. This took quite a while to figure out, especially when you're new. Just being able to get this stuff going the right way. This was before we had these short curved pipes, which you can't even get anymore in the game. I wish they'd bring back our curved pipes. The new system's great, but I miss being able to just make a curved pipe. Alright, so this thing is screwing everything up. Oh, this is like just a big restaurant type of thing. And over here was your kitchen area. Your walk-in cooler. And a bar area. Its own seating. Its own little walk-in cooler. That's actually where the teleporter is too. And upstairs there were some rooms. I tried to make them all a little bit different. Whoops. Just a little bit different decorations inside. I think the one in the middle was like a big, yeah, this is a big room. That's how the fireplaces were supposed to look. Something kind of like that. Another one here. And just some basic rooms. Alright. Trying to remember. Oh yeah, you had to go over here to this side to get down. Oh, and these little kind of like sitting areas to overlook the tree, the candy canes. Alright, head back down. And over here there's a... I wanted to try to make this look like a big gift. It's supposed to just look like a big box. You know, a box with kind of like a bow on top of it. In between that there's a door. You drop down. Get a bunch of nip-nip. A little sit-in area. Come up here. Just a bunch of freebies that you can grab up. A little, like a little art piece here. You know, I've been actually thinking about getting rid of this space, but I wish it didn't get overgrown out there. This is one of those where I wish I could just use like Blender or something, take a screenshot or take a snapshot of it and move the base just over a little bit. That way it wasn't stuck in all those trees. Might have to check with somebody. I know there's a way to do it, but I'm not sure how. Oh, I can't do it on like a PlayStation also. It can be on PC. And then if you do that, you no longer own the base. But yeah, I did like building this one. Alright, we'll hold on to it for now. I need to get back here at some point and kind of tidy things up. I might be able to do something out here. If I put down... I might be able to do something to make it so this stuff doesn't spawn. Yeah. There was a bunch of details in here. Alright, let's get over to the next base. Yeah, I knew this save probably would have the most bases on it, so that's kind of why I wanted to start, you know, not start out this one, but get it out of the way early. I'm hoping to get through all these bases tonight. I deleted a lot of the ones I was already gonna delete, so kind of going through, you know, a couple years after now and try to whittle them down even more. Alright, so go over to Stargazer. Now, I find it kind of funny that this is not what the base looks like at all. This was an old liquid explosive farm that I built. For some reason, that picture got saved, but the one for this actual base didn't. So, kind of weird. Let's get over to this one. I think I had built that base on one of my other saves or something like that, but for some reason that picture carried over instead of the appropriate one. So this was actually a really fun base to build. It was my first attempt at doing like a helix type of thing, but kind of took a spin on it, and don't know which way to go out. There we go. A nice airless planet. The round building here, you can see there's kind of like a kaleidoscope type of deal in it. Let's see. This is where I wish we had like a solid glass frame that we could use, because it actually looks a lot better without the flooring. So, got a bunch of different stuff in there. It'll look a little bit better from up here, maybe. But yeah, something to kind of look at. There's not a lot to see here. There is did a double helix going upward, and goes all the way up. There's a bunch of these little mud huds all glitched in a circle. Just toss some more little mushrooms in them. But this was right when the mud hut first came out. I hadn't seen anybody kind of build anything with them yet, so I wanted to see what would happen if I put them in a circle like this. It gives you a cool little design. Same thing, even the design on the inside, it's kind of a unique look. And all I did was build arms off of these top ones and made like a little like chandelier type thing out of it. Yeah, this was one of my really early glitch builds that I actually did really like. Of course, you get too far away, stuff starts to disappear. But I like the mud huts because they give you a little bit of light up top. A lot of light that spreads out far. So, yeah, do like how that turned out. And there's really not much to see down on the surface. I just did, couches, and that's about it. But I'm pretty sure there's a teleporter that will take me inside. I have to find my ship. Yeah, teleporter on top of the building. This should take me inside of the circle. Just kind of give you a idea of what it looks like in here with your generators going outside. I don't know if I can get under this. Yep, you can. Just give you I'll look at what's in here. We got light fissures, we had those spear generators for the orange. The fish tanks give you a little bit different bluish light on the outside. See, whenever I can, I try to give people access to this type of area. That way they can actually see what's being used. You know, if they come back here, they can kind of get an idea of how I lay things out. That way if they want to use it in their own build, they can. Let me just put these lights here to dress it up a little bit. Alright. Yeah, this is an old glitched style too. One day I accidentally deleted a floor in here and I couldn't figure out how to get the floor back in. And I came up with a system of, getting a floor to snap back in. It was one of these red ones. It was right in the middle or something. Or it may have been right on the end or something. And I just had the hardest time trying to get it back in, but I figured out a way using a wire. I'm pretty sure I got rid of the wire. But yeah, I was able to figure out a way to bring that panel back in so that I could actually seal up the floor. So, learned a lot building this. It probably took way too long, but I did figure it out. Alright, let's go back to the anomaly. Yeah, there was a stasis device farm on this, and I'm pretty sure I got rid of it, but I think the only thing that's going to be there is going to be a base computer. I just want to take a quick look. Yeah, I did have to go through and delete a bunch of stuff because I ran out of building parts. So I'm pretty sure these are gone. So your bases. Stargate. Actually, check this one out too. Robot Rodeo. I think this is one of those planets that had mechanical animals on it. I don't think I ever did a video or anything of this, because I don't think there was anything all that great here. I remember building a structure, that's about it. But it was when the robotic creatures first showed up, and I got all excited because I found a planet that had two different versions of the animals, only to find out later that that was the normal. Alright, so we do have some type of structure here. Shiny robots. Alright, so what do we have? We got some cadmium. Oxygen. Alright, some just freebies to grab. Alright. Some more freebies. Yeah, I don't think there's much of anything here. Alright, there's our door. Oh, okay, this changed into a swamp. Base computer. Yeah, I'm pretty sure should be mechanical animals here. Yep. Oh yeah, peanut butter and jelly. There's peanut butter, there's jelly. Any other... Actually, what did that say for fauna? Alright, there are a couple rare ground creatures. I wonder what those are. Oh, we've got the, these guys. Oh, we've got... This must be... Do we have aggressive sentinels? No, just unwavering. Wonder if I can find that other... There it is, over here. Yeah, there's our other... Alright. So, it looks like I'm gonna have to save this one now. I thought about just getting rid of the base, but I didn't realize those other archive creatures were here. Oh, and it looks like there's a biodome with some stuff. Alright. Yeah, I might as well just keep the base. That's another base I forgot I even had. Yeah, I knew I had one of these farms with those animal names, those creature names. I didn't realize it was on this save. Peanut butter and jelly. I'm surprised they kept their name too. So, all right, let's run up to the next one. I don't know if I'm gonna get through all these saves or not. There's actually way more bases than I thought. I thought I got rid of way more. I got rid of quite a few, but alright, that's two bush stasis system. Let's just go to this one because this will tell me if any of the other bases are there. Would be the mixing base, so if I get here and there's just a base computer, then I know. Alright. Yep. Stasis device system is no more. Yeah, so none of those should be here. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll delete the base, put down another base computer, just to mark the location. But yeah, I was quite certain that I deleted those. Alright, so I'm gonna take one more peek in the teleporter list just to make sure I didn't miss anything, and then switch over to a different save. That should have been the end of it. It's just I don't want to miss anything. Yeah, because a lot of these were just supply bases, so portals. Must be S-Class multi-tool most likely. Oh, there is one more. Yeah, Nanite Kitchen. I'm not sure if I deleted this or not. It was one of the later bases, so it might still be there. Oh, it is still here. Alright, this was a fun little base. Yeah, what I did was I used prefabs and was able to put regular floors inside of them. That was a little experiment that I wanted to try out. So, took kind of a small base, fun base though. So, did a bunch of decorations on the outside. I thought this was a pretty cool little thing to put together. Different way to get power. We have our storage containers down here. And this thing screws everything up again. Yeah, I used to have a trade terminal right on the front of that Kelsish room. Alright. The same thing over here. I'm using these for support pillars. Use my camera to go up here. So you have some plants that you can just pick up, but the opposite side, this was where the focus of it was. You just come in here and pick up this biodome and then make up a stew with it with a nutrient processor, and then go up to Cronus and just feed him stew. I don't know if I have any in here. No, I don't have any in here. But yeah, you would make up a bunch of stew to bring up to Cronus and just get a bunch of nanites from him. I was happy with that, being able to figure out a way to get, wood panels on the inside of a biodome. Because you have to sink your floor down a little bit so that it kind of merges into the biodome. Same thing down here, just getting your floor the right, sinking it down the right distance. Yeah, I'm not going to bother. Actually, if I go to move that, yeah, that one you can't really see. Oh, see if I can put a new one in there. I don't want to have to do a reload. There we go. I thought if I canceled the move that it would put the piece back. That's how it used to work anyway. Do a couple refiners. Alright, yeah, this will take me down to my storage. We have a guy here overseeing things. We got storage. Little window to sit at. Oh, it's a fun little build. Alright, let's get back to the anomaly. I'm going to do a quick save and then load into the next save. Probably have a few nicer builds on this one. See, I have so many saves that I have trouble keeping track of what's where. Yeah. Oh, go do a save. Alright. That, and we'll see what one is up next. So we're going to have Frontiers 1, so load in there. Alright, at least it looks like we have load right into the anomaly on this one. It'll save us a little bit of running around. Alright. Got our little yellow explorer, or exotic. I just realized I have a bunch of Quicksilver items I need to unlock on a lot of these. I have to come through at some point and log into all of them and collect them. Alright, let's go to your bases. Alright, news starts, nothing to look at. That's nothing. Okay, so we do have Arch Terrace. Just scan through these real quick. Looks like Get Away. Oh, we got Last Stop, Hillside, Cat Scrap. Alright, so we have a few bases here. So, go over to Arch Terrace first. This was on somebody's community planet, and I can't remember who. Know when I get in there, though. Yeah, this was a fun build. Hopefully the planet still looks decent. Oh yeah, flowery squirrel. That's right. Yeah, another community member. He does a lot with ships. He does like ship shows. People show off their ships. So it's actually kind of a big build. Again, it's in between two of these pillars. I did a double arc. I got one on top, one on bottom. The building suspended in between. The best way to show this is probably just to go from the ends, because if I try to bring my build camera out too far, I'll probably fall. So. But the two sides are pretty much the same thing. I'll just show off one side. There's some plants going around. Fish tank and a drowning yak terrarium. And I try to use all the different building mediums here, all the newer ones. So, you know, are stone, wood, and alloy. Kind of glitch in different plants. I think I did different plants on the other side. I tried to make it so like all the different types of plants were shown. Yeah, like your gravitino on this side. Some of them are pointing different directions. Just notice that. Yeah. It is what it is. Alright, then you have your top arch. On this side you've got Nip Nip and Albium Pearl. With different plants on the outside. And Nip Nip over here. The other plants. Alright, you got your bottom arch. This will take you down to the building itself. Kind of like a mixing room. Stuff like that. Each side has a little balcony area. This planet changed. It used to be lush. Now it's a swamp, of course. I swear Worlds did more damage. Damaged way more of my bases than any other update they ever did. It turns so many lush planets into swamps. I just try different things here. And you're upstairs. It's like an office. Actually, can I build camera through these? Get me from running around. Alright, you got bunk beds for kids. Kind of not a lot of decoration here, but enough to kind of dress it up a little. Alright, then master bedroom over here. Nice big bed. Decorations. We have little, like, inside garden type of thing. We have our kitchen over here. Actually took a little bit of time and made this kitchen look pretty good. Got our double table here. And this was the first time I saw anybody use these light racks as a drying station. I'm not sure if I came up with that or somebody else did, but it's the first time I had ever seen it. You got, extra pots and pans. And got a kind of a living room with a nice big fireplace. Yeah, I was really happy with this fireplace. It was when we started messing around a little bit with enlarging items. Because on console, you couldn't resize stuff. You had to figure out ways to enlarge stuff. There wasn't like a mod that you could use and just say, hey, I like this part, let me make it big. No, you had to figure out ways to do it. And some weird little art stuff. And a little loft area. Kind of, I turned it into a game room. A nice big TV, couple consoles over here. Yeah. Oh, it's a shame about the planet. Everything else seems to hold up pretty well. I think there's still a few bases here. Yep. Oh yeah, this is where Flowery has a he has a botanical garden over there, where he just built like a big garden area, and other players would show up and kind of claim a square and build their own little garden. It was actually a really cool project. A really good idea. All right, so this one looks fine. Let's go back to the anomaly. Yeah, I think the only bad thing about that planet is the biome change. Besides that, everything else seems all right. Yeah, that was a fun build. Whenever I get to learn something new, I'd like to try to use it in a build. Yeah, I learned how to build that. A builder named Pharaoh put out a guide on how to make those arched walkways. So I had to try it on a few different builds. Actually, Pharaoh. Speaking of Pharaoh, here's one of his bases right here, one of the community bases. You can see an arch suspension bridge right there. This build's a couple years old now, but it still looks really, really cool. So if you get a chance, definitely go check that out. Actually, check out all these community ones. They're all really good. Except for I've had issues with Ryan's before. I think it's just having issues loading into it. But I remember seeing it way back when it was first highlighted. Alright, let's go back down here. Arch Terrace. Fishers is just Fishers. Memento. Let's take a run by there. Hopefully this planet didn't change too much. Because this is another one where it might be overgrown a little bit. But this was was put together by Miyamao and Moose Gaming. About right around the time they put the system together, another community member named Biterbeck passed away, and they were looking for a system where people could, build memorials to different, people in game or out of game. So a lot of people put bases here. This was my contribution to it. It's a beautiful planet. Yeah, fallen travelers. There were quite a few bases here last I knew. Yeah, there's still 28 bases, but some people did build on some of the neighboring planets because it was starting to get pretty crowded. Alright, my computer's way down here. Oh, I don't have a teleporter here, that's why. Alright, let's take a run up. Yeah, I don't think I put a teleporter here. I've been considering putting one here, but I didn't know where it would draw people. Alright, so there are the landing pads, the 3 landing pad setup, just kind of basic with some plants. Little area here. And to our structure. Yeah, last time I was here it was kind of overgrown a little bit, but it looks a lot better than it did. It's kind of a somber type of build, you know. I mean, it's a memorial, it's for remembrance, so just put a gigantic light fixture down in the bottom with a beam going all the way through the top. Just multi-tiered, you know, benches to sit on. A little bit of decoration. I didn't want to go like overboard on a lot of it. I knew a lot of people would build here. So little little sit-in areas. Oh, here is different travelers. Yeah, this one was tough for me to put together because I'd recently lost my grandmother and my father within a few months. And this one was a rough one to put together. This is what I came up with. And we have a little outbuilding out here. Same thing to, place to sit and reflect. Yeah, I don't talk about my personal life much, but this one was a difficult one to put together. I like it. It's another one of those builds I'll never get rid of until the servers go away. Alright, it's a really nice system. Anybody's ever looking to come over here, it's in Euclid, and that's the address. Just ask that you be respectful, not build on top of anybody else's bases. Keep your space. Try to stay at least couple, at least like 600 or so units away. When if you get towards a base computer or whatever and find a spot you like, just try to make sure you're minutes away from bases, not units. If you can stay like 5 minutes or so away, it helps with the render of the system, and because if bases get too close together, they don't like to render in very well. So just try to keep your space away from people and make sure you upload your base so people can see it. Alright, I'm just gonna wait for that to finish uploading. Yeah, so there's a bunch of different planets. If you don't like this one, you can always go over to one of the other ones. There's a couple frozen, a toxic horror planet. Poisonous, contaminated. Alright. So this is the only lush one. I thought there were 2 lush ones. Come to find out it's actually a toxic horror instead. Alright, let's get back to the anomaly. Alright, and next base. Alright, down to here. This was Helper's Vortex. This was for the Helpers Party. It was one of their community planets. I'm not sure if they're still around or not. Sometimes I see some of the members online, so I think they're still helping out. Well, what they do is they're a collaborative that like to help out newer players that are just starting out with, sometimes it's resources, creature eggs, with ships, supplies. Just a good group of people. It was headed by a guy named Mayogi, who I'm not sure if he's still playing or not. I haven't seen him in a long time. He used to do a lot with Captain Steve. Seemed like a really nice guy. Alright. Still, just see if there's still bases here. Should be still some. Yeah, there's still quite a few bases. It's a really nice system too. I had a couple different builds here at one point. I think I had to delete one or two bases here just because I ran out of room, like normal. I'm always running out of room. Let's go over to our landing pad to start off with. Just your typical. I like to do like 3 landing pads at a lot of my bases, just so hopefully people have places to land. And figured I'd do a couple, little garden area, kind of make things a little welcoming when people show up. And our structure itself, just a round structure. But I did put these raceway initiators, or raceway boosters rather, around the outside. So first time I tried something like that, you'll see it come into play in a couple other builds. Alright, so we do have some overgrowth here, which is unfortunate, but it doesn't look like it breaks anything too much. A couple biodomes. I figured I'd try something different here, so I put the planter in the typical build spot, just to give it kind of a different look. And more boosters up on the roof. One of these compound bulbs. Actually, no, it's almost like a big chimney type of thing. A fisher shooting light out of it. It looks really nice at nighttime. Alright, and again, this is, a company that they're a collaborative that likes to, just give out free stuff, and so I made sure to add a bunch of crates and all that good stuff. Those are all the way around the outside. We got a ton of carbon, and this is all just one big power circle on the bottom, with another cluster up here with a bunch of different colored fissures going up. I just realized there's more resources in here. I don't remember what they are. Oh, and this is where I first try to do this type of setup with the end caps, or what do they call these? Alloy wall caps. Because typically you have to glitch in 4 of them to make one whole unit. And that's the first time I did that. I do have some resources over here. I don't remember what they are. So we got nitrogen, silver, copper, a couple different refiner setups. You know, we used to be able to go do fun stuff like this with the trade terminals, and now we've got that big clunky thing. Luckily, this one didn't. I don't think this one converted over. Doesn't look like it. But you used to be able to do cool stuff like that with them. And just a couple antimatter reactors. Some little atmospheric machines, oxygen harvester up top. Yeah, got a fun little build. You know, try to do some unique type of stuff. You know, some tables. Yeah, and this little biodome trick. I can't remember who showed me this. I think it was like may have been like Pez or somebody else made it so you could open up your biodomes on one side. You know, it only work on one side. But same deal in here. You can either harvest everything at once here or just pick it like normal. But yeah, this is really fun build. Too bad the planet changed. At least it's not a swamp, it's just overgrown. Oh, we got electrical storms here. Let me see if I can go into night mode. It looks really good at night. Or it used to. It was nice and flashy. So, yeah. At least it didn't get too ruined. Oh, there's our electric storm. Let me just see if I can take a peek underneath. I don't know if I'll be able to get under here or not. Yep. Yep, so we have EMGs as a foundation up into those, and then you have your circle of them here, and then another circle of them inside. Looks like I have a photo cell or something. Oh, it's probably to turn on the lights on the floor. Yeah, the floors light up at night. Yeah, these floors right here light up at nighttime. So, different decorations up on the roof, or the ceiling rather. Yeah, really fun build. All right, let's. I'm gonna hold on to that one. Head back to the anomaly. I just realized I'm like over 2 hours into the stream now. I still have a couple more saves to even get into. I might have to do another part of this. Let's run up here. Yeah, because I don't want these streams to get too long. I have an issue with streams just kind of crashing out of nowhere. That's going to be a temp. Alright, so you got one base here. Alright, and over to Lakeside Getaway. Alright, this was another Helper's Party base. We'll get over here, and this is probably going to be the last base for tonight. But I still have a couple more saves to go through, so it'll be a part 5 of this series. And hopefully I can wrap them all up in the next one. I meant to get on earlier today and start going through these, and it just didn't happen. So hopefully be able to wrap them all up in the next stream. I don't think there's as many bases on those, so Yeah, this is another helpers party. Still, still some bases here. One of them's a work in progress, so. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, there's still a few bases on other planets too, so. Start with our little gazebo. Yeah, for some reason I went through a kick where I wanted to put my base computer inside of little structures on the outside. But looks like this planet held up pretty good. The water's super clear here. Alright, get over to our building. Start. Go right to the landing pad. I always like to just start at the landing pad and work my way in. Got our couple different glitch stacks. I have no idea why that's black. That's weird. But, yeah, it's kind of a stone walkway. Let me see if I can fix that. That's gonna bug me. I can just delete that out. There. All fixed. Okay, let me do an upload so that will actually stick. It's because I was using a custom color there. It's not your typical color available on stone. Alright. So, yep, just that. We got the flat stairs. These are flipped over. You just start at the bottom because... Yeah, I flipped these over so that I could use these roof pieces as a support. So I wanted to make it so you would have to step up onto another step. This is the first time, and I think I'm the only person that does this, but using the golden tables as just to kind of dress up the floors a little bit. Yeah, I put out a guide on how to do this, and I don't think I've ever seen anybody else use it. So it's kind of like one of my little trademarks. The same thing with these, using these caps, whatever they call them. I can never remember the name of these wall caps, and spinning them around like this so you get a solid pillar. Just using it as a support for here. And then the inside, a few different fish tanks with stuff inside of them. I'm pretty sure I made them all a little bit different. I always try to kind of do things a little bit different. Alright, so there's just two different setups here. Alright. A couple little places that people can grab supplies. Try to dress this up a little bit. There are terminals. Little tiny stations there. Little tiny fireplaces inside of medium refiners. Just kind of a unique large refiner setup. Some other stuff. Little display case for trophies. And if you look at the ceilings here, I used upside down roofs to put in some of those fungus things and those little lanterns. And up our stairs. was like a, little meeting area. And these floors were glitched in the correct way, like right side up. So these are upside down, but they're sitting on top of a right side up floor. So I mean, this build, it took forever to put together because I was trying to figure out things at the same time. We have a bar area with all the different civilizations, the different hubs. That way, everybody at the time was, included in that. And the little seating area. Try to do something different on the roof lights. Just use, some of these glitches and, try to dress it up, make it colorful. Some different glitches. Just try to make it look good for people that, do decide to visit at some point. I had a Beeblebum swung by it once, and he liked some of the stuff that was here, so just try to kind of pass ideas along to each other and kind of improvise on some of the stuff. Try to use it in their own builds. That's what, a lot of the building communities like that, nobody's like territorial about, hey, that was my idea or my idea. Everybody's very, very good. It's one of the things I really do like about the community. They help each other out. You get in a Discord and everybody's always happy to give you pointers. So that was that one. Oh, and I do have a little like missile thing up here, just in case somebody decides to try to rob the joint. Got some little missile cluster kind of put together. Guess I have to shoot down any freighters or anything out of the sky. And this is all, these are all EMGs on the outside, you can see those, but on the inside, these are actually the large hydronic trays kind of glitch in a circle and give you that kind of weird effect. A bunch of those you can kind of see where their snap points are. Then all I did was outline it with short walls. So, a cool little effect to it. Alright. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. It took ages to put this thing together, but I'm really happy with how it came out. Alright. It's a gorgeous planet. It's probably one of the nicest planets I've seen. It did change, but the water's just gorgeous. I think it changed a little bit. I remember it having more trees. I'm pretty sure it did. I'm pretty sure it had trees. It's more rocky now, though. But yeah, really great planet. And finally, you get to use this little golden table glitch. So, yeah, hopefully I run into somebody's base sometime and they've got them, because I do visit a lot of bases from other players. So I'm hoping one day. That's a hint, guys. If you're watching this back, try this little glitch out. As far as I know, it still works. So, alright. Well, we're going to head back to the anomaly, and I'll next stream I'll pick up from here. I think there's like 3 or 4 more bases on this save, and then I have, I believe, 2 more saves worth of bases. Yeah, like if I look at my playlist on YouTube, I think I had around 90, had a little over 90 bases. A few of those I did delete. So there should be a good amount left. Let me just jump out here. I want to see, because I think I have 2 more saves to look at, but I'm not sure. So we'll finish up on Frontiers 1. And then we have Interceptor 1, which doesn't have a lot of hours. And then 401, which probably has a half a dozen or so. So it'll probably be like a dozen or so bases to look at. But that's going to do it for me tonight, guys. I appreciate you guys taking the time to check this out, and I will hopefully see you next time. Alright, guys, take care.